What is up, everyone? Coffee Break is back with another video, and I don't know what we witnessed this past weekend. The 49ers just got their you-know-what handed to them, and I guess we haven't seen a loss like that in a really long time. I thought we would never see a loss like that during the Shanahan-Lynch era, but boy, was I wrong. I went live after the game Sunday, so I got most of what I wanted to talk about out of my chest. If you wanted to hear that reaction, I'll link it on the description. I'll also have a card on the video, so you can click there. But I just needed to vent out. Whatever that was, I just needed to get it off my chest because I'm sure a lot of Niner fans feel the same way. I did manage to catch up on some 49ers press conference with Kyle Shanahan. He spoke after the game. He spoke Monday evening, and it still doesn't make me feel good about what transpired. Trying to reason to why decisions were made and ultimately what got us to this point. So this is kind of the breakdown here. Kyle Shanahan after the game mentioned that the reason he pulled Jimmy Garoppolo was because he was affected by his ankle injury. I mean, that is still not good. Either way you dice this up. Let me explain something. If Shanahan knew Jimmy wasn't 100%, why risk him in the game, knowing that your offensive line isn't that good? He's literally a sitting duck back there. So for a coach to admit that falls on Kyle. Week in and week out, he has to be sure he has the right 11 guys to run his offense. And if Jimmy is hurt, as he's saying he is, and you allowed him to play, that is on you, coach. I can't put that on Jimmy. Players are going to want to play. I don't blame Jimmy for essentially wanting to play, wanting to help his team. I put that on Kyle. We have to have someone who is willing to say, you know what, I think you need another week. You just are not capable of protecting yourself. So, Shanahan just with a bad 2 weeks in a row where, his team has been unable to adjust and he's had to pull a quarterback change. That is almost unheard of. But you get into guys who want to play, and then you talk about guys who maybe should have played. And I'm looking at Ahkello Witherspoon. For Ahkello's sake, I mean, this is what Shanahan said. You tell coaches to only put you in if it's an emergency. Now, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but the way that I understand it, Ahkello was cleared to play, or else he wouldn't have suited up. And listen, man, after the Dolphins play where they literally just ran the first play, they ran a fade, threw it over that kid, Brian Allen, that came up from the practice squad, and they just kept targeting him. Plays with your mental health. It really does. He just had to feel that he was just gonna get picked on all game. And I'm looking at Ahkello on the sideline after that and saying, you know what, just get your butt in there. I mean, what player in their right mind says, I'll suit up, but only play me if there's an emergency? I'm sorry, but this is an emergency. We're down 2 corners. If you suit up, you're good enough to get in there, in my books. With the starting corners out, Ahkello is our best available corner outside of Verrett. On the postgame show, former safety Dante Whitner is calling you soft. And I mean, I have to agree. If you are capable of suiting up, then by all means you're capable to play. So it baffles me that a player would even say that. I would think Ahkello would want to take reps now more, given that his contract expires at the end of the year. So to hear that from Shanahan was disappointing. And I don't think Shanahan would just lie about it. I can see why they played the young man, Brian Allen. And no one in their right mind is blaming Brian Allen. He was just put in a tough spot. I can't blame Brian Allen for allowing all these receptions. He was a practice squad player for a reason. we're seeing why. The coaches ultimately had no choice but to play him. They're banged up. Yeah, that's true. I'll give you all of that. But this is what I don't agree with. As abysmal as he was playing Sunday, talking about Brian Allen, how do you not adjust? How do you not make an adjustment? I mean, this is what coaches are here for. They see something happening to a player in real time. Where is the adjustment? And I'm looking at you, Saleh. For the 49ers not to adjust just blows my mind. I don't know. This is a crazy idea. Why don't you just double team the receiver he's going up against? Give him some help, some safety help, something. Or put in the next guy in. We did absolutely nothing. We did something, but it was too little too late. Niners were already down, 3 scores. So this move should have been done earlier. This is what Shanahan said. We put in Ahkello Witherspoon after he asked Shanahan to be subbed in. If it wasn't for that, I don't know, the Dolphins are probably still throwing touchdowns over Brian Allen's head. So it's just a bad look overall. Ahkello, if you suit up, I think you're good to go. Coaching staff just did nothing to help Brian Allen. And the whole thing just screams bad coaching. I expect more from the 49ers at this point. This is their 4th year together as a group, as a unit. They cannot look as bad as they did Sunday. Unbelievable. I just can't believe it. 4 years together, and even with all the injuries, this is what you put out on Sunday. Offense had all their players. There's no excuse there, right? I mean, of course, I haven't even touched on offensive line because honestly, it's been the same thing every week. Trent Williams, communication issues on the offensive line. Another rough outing for him. The Niners O-line will continue to see more blitzes, continue to see more stunts until they show they can adjust. Defenses are just confusing that line on how they're going to rush the quarterback. I mean, it's really creative how the Dolphins came in here and sort of approached this game. Credit the Dolphins. They did a really good job. But here we are again. Another week, the 49ers couldn't adjust. And that's all she wrote. I mean, you combine the bad offensive line play, the bad quarterback play. You have another corner who just couldn't guard a 2-year-old. I mean, I don't mean to be, that disrespectful, but Brian Allen was just bad. And you look at the score and you're down 3 possessions already. And then Kyle Shanahan again today said, we're just throwing too much. Yeah, that recipe is going to allow you to throw more than you want to. And the run game was going to get going. We just couldn't get off the field on 3rd downs. We couldn't stop them. And, it's clear the 49ers aren't set up to win a shootout. So they have issues all around. And they're going to have to figure that out quick as the Rams come to town. But we'll talk about them later on in the week. Moving on, there are some injury updates. It seems like Quan Alexander may be suffering a high ankle sprain. So that'll suck, having him out, miss any significant time. Richard Sherman, it seems like his injury is worse than the 49ers anticipated. I believe we're still dealing with a calf injury. That's never a good sign. Calf injuries could be something like a cramp, very minor, or a huge problem in terms of your Achilles. I just hope we're not dealing with an Achilles. I mean, Richard Sherman has a history already with that. I'm not sure if it's the same leg or if it's the other one. When you talk to people who've had Achilles injuries, they mainly have problems with the opposite leg after a while. So I just hope that, for Sherman's sake, because I know this is, the last year in his contract, that it's nothing too serious and that he could still play at a high level. But yeah, I mean, the Niners' issues are still lingering, and they're going to linger all year. So corner position, still banged up. Now you have a linebacker down. Offensive line can't block. Jimmy Garoppolo's bench. I mean, it's not a good time to watch 49er football. But with all that being said, I still think the Niners are not as bad as they were this past weekend. I mean, I refuse to believe that the Niners are a bad team this year. Not great, not average, but this bad? You got beat by the Dolphins? I refuse to believe it. They had all their pieces on offense. And yes, they will get some more practice time in. I mean, offensive line, if they can just find a way to communicate. I feel like communication is a big part of blocking and making sure that everyone is pulling on the same string. They will score more than 17. Like, I believe this is a rock bottom situation. You can only go up from here, but you are playing some more tougher teams. But my goodness. And another thing is, we don't know who the Niners are anymore. What's their identity? Last year was great defense, forcing turnovers, sacking quarterbacks, running the football, controlling time of possession. This year, I don't know who they are, what they're good at. They need to narrow down to one thing and kind of stick to that, because that's all they have at the moment. Maybe it's just running the football, run the football, just run it down people's throats. But at the same time, how will this defense kind of help with that if their corners are out and then you're just allowing every quarterback to just throw over 350? So, Niners are really going to have to find themselves here, and the last thing about this is turning into another rant, but the last thing is leadership. Who are the 49ers looking at when you're down 3 possessions? Who are the Niners turning to? They took the quarterback, your franchise quarterback. They took him out. They benched him. Kyle Shanahan needs to be front and center at that point and lead this team. And I feel like a lot of the leadership guys were missing. I feel like Joe Staley was missing yesterday. So yeah, Niners have major problems leading up to week 6, but hey, it is what it is. Anyways, guys, let me hear from you. What are some of your overreacting thoughts on the way the season is going so far? Go ahead and drop your comments below. Also, I have heard your feedback about creating a Facebook page. I do have one. I'll just need to update it, if you will. So I'll let you guys know when that's up and running. I do have an Instagram. I'll drop the link for that below, where you can follow me on Instagram. Just another way you can follow me. And then also pretty soon I'll have a giveaway to give away some stickers and magnets just for supporting my channel. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you guys know how I will pick those winners of the giveaway, I guess. So thank you as always, guys, for watching my video, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.